Welcome to From the South. I'm Laura Prada from our Telesur studios in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with our news. Just stay with us. We begin in Colombia. A car bomb attack in the municipality of Rosas in Cauca left at least 5 people dead and 3 wounded. The attack took place on the Pan American Road at the height of the sector known as Pan de Azúcar. So far, authorities have not given the official report and no group has claimed responsibility for the incident, despite the fact that it occurred hours after the armed strike announced by the Liberation National Army. This attack was informed by the governor of Cauca, Elias Larraondo, in turn taking place one day before the visit to the region of President Iván Duque to the Popoyan region. Those were the images of the explosion. Now we move on to Venezuela. President Nicolás Maduro has warned about possible hostilities along the northwest Venezuelan border with Colombia.
Along our northwest border with Colombia, there are groups carrying out trainings on the side of Macao. These are groups of deserters, mercenaries and traitors training to attack Venezuelan military units in the Zulia state. I warn, you know this well, we do not want war. We do not want terrorism, we don't want violence, but we are not afraid to fight with weapons to protect the peace, the territorial integrity and the future of Venezuela. The world needs to know this.
President Maduro says these groups training near the border were sent there by the U.S. government.
2 weeks ago, Donald Trump said he was going to crush Venezuela, and now he tells Lenin Moreno that he is in charge of Venezuela. It is because he is thinking about terrorism, violence, invasions, and war. That is what Donald Trump is thinking about. Donald Trump was convinced that it is easy, that coming into Venezuela is a piece of cake, and that they have the backing of mercenaries who are already prepared in Colombia to invade Venezuela, and that we will all surrender. We are all going to give up. That's what makes Donald Trump special. That's why Trump says, I'm going to crush Venezuela. I'm going to crush and break Venezuela. And tells Lenin Moreno, don't mess with Venezuela since I will take care of Venezuela. As if he was an emperor and we were a colony. No, we do not want war. We do not want violence. We do not want terrorism. But we are not afraid of military combat.
Also in Venezuela, the Vice President Delcy Rodriguez reported this Monday the suspension of TAP Air Portugal airline for 90 days as a decision taken by the Venezuelan authorities. Through her official account on Twitter, the Vice President expressed that the airline had been suspended for 90 days due to serious violation of the Venezuelan civil aviation regulations without listening the fines and administrative procedures that may apply. Venezuela is respected. And also the government of Venezuela, as we were saying, denounced this Portuguese airline TAP for several breaches of aviation safety on Flight 173 to Caracas, on which opposition lawmaker Juan Guaidó and his uncle Juan José Márquez traveled to Venezuela on February 11th. The Venezuelan Transport Minister Hipólito Abreu listed among the irregularities the breach of passenger identification protocols, non-compliance with national and international security standards, and the transportation of prohibited material after it was found that José Márquez was carrying explosive materials on a commercial flight. The Portuguese operation now could face a fine or temporary or definite suspension for its operating license in accordance with the result of the investigation being undertaken by Venezuelan aviation authorities.
We will be evaluating 3 possible levels of action according to what happened. Number 1, a series of fines that correspond to these cases, as well as the possible sanctions or suspensions of the TAP airline. Depending on the facts that have occurred and how the investigations develop, we could arrive at the revocation of the aeronautical service of this company and permanent suspension.
And the president of the Dominican Republic, Danilo Medina, said that his country will, his government, I must say, will guarantee the necessary resources for the new polls after the Central Electoral Board announced the date for a make-up municipal elections.
Desde el gobierno,
the government is firmly committed to protecting democratic institutions and ensuring respect for our constitutional order, and we will do so by supporting due processes, strengthening legal ties and ensuring the necessary resources to help the electoral processes. The Constitution of the Republic establishes that, firstly, municipal and presidential elections must be held independently, and secondly, that the elected municipal authorities must take office on April the 24th of this year.
President Medina also urged political parties to refrain themselves from causing ruckus over the municipal elections.
En esta ocasión, hacer un llamado.
I would also like to call on all politicians and opinion leaders of the country. This is a call for sanity and responsibility. It is in situations like this when we must show regardlessness of our leadership by acting with prudence and putting the interests of the country over the interests of the party supporters at all times. As I said earlier, this situation has to be resolved according to the Constitution and the law, so I urge all public and private institutions to continue with their normal operations.
Dominican voters then will be heading to the polls again on March 15th for special make-up elections after the vote that was cancelled on the weekend due to technical problems. The Central Electoral Board announced that the make-up elections will use paper ballots in all polling stations in the country. All citizens eligible to vote can participate in this electoral round, and the decision follows suspension of the electoral process this Sunday due to alleged technical problems with the automatic voting system that was to be used in a small percentage of the prisons.
Of the 15th of March 2020, an extraordinary municipal elections will be held. Of the 15th of March 2020, an extraordinary municipal elections will be held in the Dominican Republic, and all the voting to elect new mayors will be carried out by using physical ballots at a national.
We move on to Paraguay. The National Congress has declared a national health emergency over the dengue fever outbreak. The declaration will grant extraordinary powers to the government to quickly release emergency funds to combat the epidemic. The health emergency will last for 90 days, and Paraguay has so far recorded even 16 deaths and over 4,250 cases confirmed across the country.
According to experts, dengue eradication can take up to 100 years, but even if they exaggerate, we are going to assume that it will take at least 20 years. We are talking about 20 years. The country has to be ready for the next 20 years. It can be that people die for dengue every year. Right now, we are experiencing another very serious epidemic.
And we talk about Brazil. Brazilian truckers have staged demonstrations at Latin America's largest port in Santos, demanding a reduction of ICMS tax on gasoline and diesel. No roadblocks were reported so far, but the protest came after the government sent a bill to Congress aiming to change the tax. ICMS is a tax on sales and services and applies to the movement of goods, transportation, communication services, and other supplies. The price of diesel is a sensitive issue for truck drivers, whose national strike in 2018 had a large impact on Brazil's economy. Like this, we go for a first break. Remember, you can find this and much more other information on our Twitter account. You follow us at Tulsa English and on my account at Laura Pietelson. We'll be right back.
Our actions have an impact on the environment. It's our responsibility to change for the sake of our planet. Let's be part of this transition. Watch, preserve, and protect your Earth. Green Zone. Wednesdays, only on Telesur.
Acompañamos a los pueblos que resisten en cada una de sus luchas.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo corro.
To keep myself healthy, I study.
Για να διατηρηθώ υγιής, τρέφομαι σωστά.